this is a fucking banger.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is a beautiful day out here in the state of New York. Not really, as you can see from behind me. But anyways, we're gonna get right into it. Let's go over the engine on this A8. Just gonna quickly pop the hood here. Wow, look at this thing. Big 4.2 liter V8 FSI. So just to quickly go around the engine bay, for those who don't know, these are two high pressure fuel pumps leading right down. There's your coil pack, sparks, everything, valve covers. So I just did the gaskets on both of these. You know, oil dipstick, just basic stuff. Coolant, power steering, airbox, all sorts of stuff. Everything runs really nicely. It's so smooth in here. You know, it's really a awesome car now that it's all fixed up and working well. So overall, it's really cool. I enjoy this car a lot. It's got the projector headlights, which are nice. Definitely helps at night compared to just regular halogens. So overall, it's super nice, super beautiful car. I am so stoked to be able to drive this car every day. Definitely a blast. It is really, really fun. Just a view from the passenger seat, if you were to get into the car, kind of what it looks like. Kind of looks like a spaceship. That's what everybody who I know calls it when they first get in. They've got the sunshades on all these doors, which is pretty cool. Ashtray, kind of weird, but I guess in 08 people maybe still smoked. I don't really know. I was only in 3rd grade when this car came out, so I'm not the person to ask about that. You got your heated seats in the rear, which is nice. These little pockets are nice. The elastic still works really well. They're super nice. All sorts of stuff. Your little command center up here is kind of cool too, where you do the rear sunshade from back here. This comes out here, and there's like cup holders on the end, and that pops open. Just basic storage. Nothing crazy. But this rear seat was really never sat in. I mean, it's pretty much spotless. I've seen other A8s where the leather's worn. It's not even worn anywhere. It's just a little dirty. But, you know, I don't really mind it. Bose big subwoofer back there. You got your pillows on all these seats as well. All sorts of stuff. It's really cool. It's an awesome back. I mean, I love those little windows right there too. Something that not every car has. Just because you're sitting there, you can also look behind you and there's a window. Kind of cool. Overall, it's awesome. And it's got these cool little vents here. Don't know what you'd use those for. Guess your AC, your heat or something, but it seems like it's blowing on the window. Maybe just keep the window defrosted. I don't really know. Don't really care. I don't sit back there anyways, so. Walk you around the back. Let's pop the hood on this sucker. Check that out. Power trunk. Pretty cool. Now, it wouldn't be an Audi if you didn't carry your oil and your coolant. You never know when you might need it. Down there's the cover for the battery. That's where the battery is. This battery is $300, people. This is $300, just the battery. I'd just leave the cover off because I've been messing with stuff lately where I've had to unplug the battery anyways. It's got some cool grocery hooks. Hook your groceries up. Other than that, pretty basic trunk. You got like a kit up here too. Pop this down. Take a look inside. Kind of cool. Nothing crazy though. Your emergency handle from the inside. It's power, of course, because it's an A8, and so it couldn't not be power. These buttons on the doors like lock the car and stuff if you were to click these. Other than that, that's pretty much just a tour of the outside of the A8. It's pretty basic, honestly. I don't know. It's just an A8, but it's awesome. It's awesome. It's got all these power seat features. Like this one does the leg rest. This one does that thing on the wall I was talking about, right up here, where it moves that. This one moves the upper half of the seat. I don't know if you can see that, but just the upper half moves. Then this one moves the whole seat. This one just does the back and forth as normal. This is your lumbar. And oh yeah, this one does this. But if you push up on this, your headrest goes. Kind of cool. So it's got all sorts of neat features. I guess the Audi phone used to be in there. Sorry for the beeping, guys. I can't get that to turn off. But that's where the Audi phone used to be. So it was pretty advanced at the time for what it is. Definitely a really cool car. So just kind of an overview of the car. It's got the parking brake light on, as you can see, because I have a new parking brake, but I haven't put it on yet for the rear left side. And also the headlights, so they're supposed to follow you when you turn and stuff. That doesn't really work, and I'm not really willing to spend the like $400 it costs to get the 2 ballasts to fix that. So that'll always be there. It doesn't really bother me because I don't look at it much. I know you can see them flashing back and forth, but I'm so tall, like my driver's position is this, so I kind of see this, but not really. I actually can't even see when the turn signals are on without actually trying to look down to find them right up there. So it's not really a car for taller people. My seat has been pretty much adjusted to where I'm comfortable, and it still doesn't fit me right. I'd have to sink really far down, and I'm not comfortable with that. It makes it harder to get in and out. And this is a luxury car, so I guess you're supposed to be comfortable. I don't know. You tell me. So just looking over here, this is the button that raises and lowers the rear shade. So we'll play a clip of that now. Now that we've shown you that, we'll show you the screen as well. This one does that. So jumping right back into it, you've got your climate controls. This one wasn't option with the cooled seats, which would have been there and there, but that's okay. This is just a little pocket where you got your cigarette lighter, which I just use my charging cord right there. But yeah, other than that, down here, FM, AM, CD aux, you know, this gives you like a name. So for like in the telephone function and or anything, you can use this button to just like pop up a specific title or name for something. These are your return and back buttons. These buttons control the 4 corners on here. Then you've got, you know, your car set up. Like if you go to car, you can do your different air suspension modes. I always keep it in comfort. I've tried dynamic, but it just isn't that comfortable, and doesn't really make sense if you're driving a luxury car to make it. I mean, you could, I guess I shouldn't say that, because you could make it sporty. That's what the dynamic's for, to make it sporty. But it's already sporty. You could just put it in sport mode. You don't have to be in dynamic, and keep it in comfort so you're comfortable. I don't know, just personal preference, I guess. Navigation, obviously, do that. Brings that up. This is kind of a pain in the ass to enter, so I don't ever do it. So yeah, but there's the map. So all in all, pretty simple. You know, engine start, engine stop buttons right there. Pretty easy. It's got like a 6-disc CD changer. Sorry about that. I got a Bluetooth module that I hooked up in there. It was like 60 bucks on Amazon, and it gives me Bluetooth audio, so I can't complain. Works pretty good. But yeah, that's about it for the front. Everything's power. Like these are pillows, so it's got adjustable pillows on all 4 headrests. These move up and down, power. The thing on the wall with the seatbelt is power up and down. This part, leg rest, extends out, power, all sorts of stuff. It's really cool, actually. And if that button right down there is not off, I can control the passenger seat through the infotainment to make it line up just with the driver's seat, which is just crazy. But I guess in case, you know, it's called the symmetry feature. It's just if you want the purest form of symmetry, I guess Audi will do that for you. But yeah, driver's side, nothing too new. Just your headlight controls, power folding mirrors. I don't know if they work. Never tried them. Not willing to try them in case they do break. Your trunk and gas button. You got your windows, window locks. You know, nothing too fancy. It's pretty much a simple door, but nice door pocket. That's for checking oil. I just keep that in there. This is your memory seat controls. It's got them on driver and passenger side, which is kind of neat. Not every car has that. But yeah. Yeah, so this gauge cluster is kind of cool. So you got your different trip computers and then your large mile an hour little gauge. So overall, it's a really nice car. Revs up pretty good. It's really fun. Has its quirks. Actually, one of the quirks is right here in the center console, because these are just tiny. They're tiny little guys. You can barely fit a pair of sunglasses in relative size to what you're looking at. So let's do this. Let's pull out a pair of sunglasses. So if we open this, stick these in there, that's that. I mean, literally, there's not much room. And the thing is, it gets deeper at the end. So you put them at the end, you basically could fit a business card up there next to them. So they're really tiny. I don't know why they didn't just do one big center armrest. I guess so different people could, you know, set them at different levels. Not that you'd want them at this level anyways, but just an idea. I don't really know. But yeah, all in all, it's an awesome car. We'll do the back seat in just a minute. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It's an awesome car, super fun, revs up pretty good. It's a blast. It is so fun. It just, I don't know. It is so invigorating when you get it up there into the high revs at 5,000 to 7,000 RPM and you're just flooring it down the highway. It is a blast. But anyways, let's go run some errands and we'll do a little driver's review on the way. So a lot of you wonder, what is it like driving an A8 on a daily basis? Honestly, it's a pleasure. It is a really fun car to drive. The air suspension can be a little interesting sometimes. It hasn't given me any issues, but it can be a little squeaky when it's cold, which is weird. I've heard that means some of the joints could be worn out, but nothing like too serious where you need to replace it right away. It's just like driver preference because it doesn't perform any different than if they were new. It just squeaks a little bit, but I don't really mind that because it's starting to become summer and yeah, it's gonna be summer, so it won't be squeaking too much. Overall, I really enjoy driving this car. It is super fun. This is just like a POV shot, so don't worry about me. I'm not doing anything illegal here by showing you guys this video, but you know, it's a fun car to drive. I don't know, it's just enjoyable, truly enjoyable. Nothing about this is difficult. It just cruises. The transmission's very smooth once it's warmed up. Before it's warmed up, just like any car, it's not clunky at all. It's just not as buttery smooth, which is to be expected from a car with 191,000 miles. I just took an 8-hour trip in this weekend and didn't have any problems at all. So overall, I'd say the car's reliability is pretty solid. When it does have an issue, it's not cheap to fix, but so far, I mean, personally, I've put a lot of money in this car to bring it to where it is right now, but you know, it runs awesome now. Brakes are good. Brakes are actually really cool because I don't know, they're different from like, I mean, you guys know about the S80, but they're much different from that, where these are like, it wants you to slow down super slow and just literally to a rolling stop. And not like jerky brakes at all or anything. They're just super smooth, which is definitely really nice in the scheme of things, considering that I've driven some cars that definitely aren't smooth braking cars. Other than that, you know, the car, it's unique. It's one of a kind. Having the screen that goes up and down and the rear sunshade that goes up and down and the pillows on the seats, it's just an enjoyable car. I mean, when you do 8 hours in this thing, it's not an issue at all. I mean, you are comfortable the whole time. You never even blink an eye. It really is a fun car. So we'll give you a little update on the rear and just kind of talk about some other features here. So while we're driving here, let's go over some common problems. So some of the things with the A8 that I would say, just like any other Audi in this class, would be such thing as carbon buildup. That is because the car is an FSI V8, and some of the FSI the V10s have that issue. It's very blatant. But what happens is carbon buildup occurs right above where the valves are, because this car injects fuel from the top. And so what happens is it builds up, you lose performance, you can have misfiring issues, all sorts of stuff. The V10s are much more prone to it, need to be cleaned out every 50,000 miles or you'll feel a lack of performance. Obviously that's very relative because everybody is different and some people don't care about cars. They may never notice it. But someone like me, I love cars, live and breathe them. I would definitely notice that. Probably you would as well if you're watching this video. But what this car I think has been carbon cleaned about 30 to 40,000 miles ago. Hasn't had any issues since. I definitely don't notice a lack of power, but I haven't owned the car long enough to probably notice it. Overall, it's been good for me. I did do the valve cover gaskets. That's another common Audi problem, leaking valve cover gaskets. You know, you've got a high pressure engine in a sense, high pressure system in general. The engines on Audis, there's a lot of high pressure things. And if something goes wrong, like for example, a misfire or your variable valve timing sensor goes wrong, which I also had replaced on this car, that type of thing throws off the engine and will push oil out the valve cover seals. Not necessarily a super expensive fix, probably about $400 depending on where you go, but you know, it's just kind of a pain. It's one of those things where you don't expect to ever have to do it, and I haven't on any of my other cars, but you know, now all of a sudden it seems to be something that if you own an Audi, you should just be aware of that expense and definitely plan for it. Other than that, you know, brakes can be expensive on this. I think the front brakes alone were $400 and something because they're bigger brakes than like an A4, for example, right? I mean, it's a bigger car, so it does make that expense a little bit larger. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else I've done. Sparks and coils. These things eat coil packs. They eat coil packs. If you own an Audi, expect to do coil packs more than once if you plan on owning it for a couple years. They, at a higher mileage, I don't know what it is, they just eat coil packs. And that is, keep in mind, I did the valve cover gaskets, so there isn't oil getting down in there. It's just the fact that they just eat them. I don't know, it's very strange. They are high performing V8s and, you know, whatever, V6s, V10s in some cases, so that's just the way it goes, but they eat coil packs. So let's just do a quick little Excel here just to show you guys what this thing's all about. So there we go, and then it just starts pulling like crazy, and all of a sudden you're going an outrageous speed that you didn't want to go. So it is a really fun car, you know, going high speeds. It's actually relatively quiet in here too. You know, I think on a warmer day, this has Continental, I forget the model number of the tire, but these Continental tires feel and are much better on a warmer day because Continental makes softer tires, for those of you who didn't know. So these specific tires, they're softer, they feel better on a warm day, they're quieter on a warmer day, just the way it goes. Other than those few things we've talked about, that's what I've pretty much encountered with the car. Some people say about timing chain stuff, but this is the FSI V8, which we'll show you under the hood in a bit. Didn't have the timing chain issue like the regular 4.2 V8 had. So, you know, maybe some people experience that. I can't attest to it, but I can tell you that, you know, I haven't had that problem. Has 191,000 miles. I don't have any problems with the timing chain. And I hope not. I hope I don't run into them. That would not be a fun process. But overall, it's a great car. Actually gets great gas mileage. I drove this exactly 4 hours and 15 minutes yesterday and had just a little bit over half tank left. And keep in mind, it only costs like $35 to fill the tank. And this is a V8. And it almost makes me go, oh crap, is one of my cylinders not working, or are multiple not working? Because it's just crazy that it gets such good gas mileage. But hey, I mean, it's a sedan, you know, pretty aerodynamic when you look at it from the front. You know, got a lot of rounded edges, so maybe it's just that. It was very windy too, so I was going against the wind, so that's also strange. But hey, I mean, it works. I don't have a check engine light. It doesn't feel off. It rides good. Everything seems normal, so it just must be the way it is. Other than that, that's all I've got for you guys on the maintenance. Just basic stuff. You know, you're gonna spend probably close to $1,000 on tires anytime you do it. You want good tires. You want something that rides good. You want something that isn't too noisy. You're driving the epitome of luxury. You don't want something that's cheap on this car because it won't last. Number one, this thing is very, very heavy. For example, the registration costs are based on weight. So the weight of the S80 registration cost, which was $136, this is going to be this one, it was $172. So $40 difference in registration based on weight. So consider that. It is definitely a bigger car. I don't know. It's heavy, and you can tell that when you go to stop. It doesn't feel like the brakes are too weak, but you can feel that it's a very heavy car. And that V8 doesn't help either. I know the doors are very, very solid, but you know, with that V8, it definitely it feels heavy. But other than that, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Errands are run. Goodbye, DMV. The S80 should be officially on the road soon. We're going to do all sorts of fun stuff with that. So, yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, and the notification bell because you want to stay tuned for that video. It's going to be pretty cool. You guys are going to see some neat stuff. as well as some 0 to 60 times that are probably pretty accurate because of the low mileage. So definitely stay tuned. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're very happy to have you here on the channel, so keep those things in mind.